Hey, it's Pharaoh. This video may contain spoilers, so if you're not caught up in the manga and don't want anything spoiled, you should leave now. Also, I've made another video about my hero with an interesting idea about heroes and villains from other countries. So after this, if you haven't seen it already, I would say go check it out. With that being said though, Chapter 306 was a crazy chapter when you look at the implications that it has. The chapter starts out with All Might answering the door from the best genius in Hawks. They're there to talk to Midoriya about All for One and how it's been leaking into the news. So they're trying to get a better understanding of what it is, especially since Shigaraki wants it. Then the chapter skips to Endeavor doing his press conference to the world about his life and how what Dabi said was actually true. They also touch on the fact that Hawks killed twice because he thought that with a quirk like that, on the villain side, he had to be stopped. Another important thing that they mentioned in the press conference is acknowledging that Japan is falling into complete chaos and the number of heroes is dwindling, as many retire for various reasons. And heroes that are still around, you could see that they are determined to do what they have to do to the best of their abilities, no matter what. With Dabi also chiming at the end of the panel, so we know that he has more in store to torture his dad. Then the third and final piece to the chapter basically brings us back to the dorms, and you can see that the kids found a letter that Deku left for them. And the letter basically details that he feels the shame and guilt for keeping a secret from all of his classmates and friends. Seeing that he's created a strong family-like bond with all of them, considering all of the things they've gone through. But also that he doesn't feel comfortable endangering them since he has All for One. He knows that Shigaraki will do whatever he has to get it. Especially after seeing the power and influence that he's gained during and after the war. And those feelings are really translated within the last panel. I really just have to say that the last panel of this chapter is just fire. Midoriya's costume is all tattered, and he has the famous lone wolf scarf that like Sasuke had when he was on his solo journey. I love that look, and it really just adds a level of atmosphere to a character, especially in that situation of a solo journey. It's also just a beautiful panel because it really just shows how he's feeling without having to say anything. And I think that Horikoshi does a fire job with that, especially when it comes to how characters are drawn in a solo panel, especially at the end of a chapter where it leaves you wanting more. Because on Midoriya's face, you can really see his stress, his sadness, and the tiredness of having to deal with everything that's happening right now. From always being the one who has to save the day, to keeping a secret from everyone and worrying about All Might since he doesn't have any power left besides when he does his 1 second burst. He's also seen the people around him die and get hurt repeatedly, even if he tries to help. But it doesn't necessarily change what's going to happen. And you can really see this when he says a big villain is attacking on the last panel. This can't be easy on someone his age. Being a teenager is already hard enough. So just adding on all this just exacerbates that fact. Like just think about the worst time you've had as a teenager and then add on the fact that you're always constantly being hunted down and trying to be killed just because you have something that most people want. That could definitely mess with somebody's mental. I'm really curious yet excited to see how this plays out. I'm thinking about this like the Sasuke retrieval arc, but instead of Team 7 being the only people after him, it'll be everyone from his friends, teachers, and even the Paranormal Liberation Front. This arc is definitely going to get gritty and needs to be gritty if it wants to keep the pressure and the high stakes. And that's something I love because it creates an atmosphere of tension and what's going to happen type vibes. And for me, not knowing what's going to happen, as long as it makes sense, it's the best form of storytelling. Unpredictability is your friend, unless it just doesn't make any sense. Then it's your worst nightmare. I wonder if any of the new villains or heroes from other places in the world will play a part in this arc, like how I talked about in my last video. I'm predicting while Midoriya's on the run, he's going to get more in touch with the previous users and hone their quirks, just like Naruto had to deal with his inner self to fully understand and become one with Kurama before the war arc. So I want to say that a good portion of that is going to happen, especially since the other two users we saw were just about to start talking to him. But we didn't actually get to see them talk together, so they could have talked, and I think that we'll see what knowledge he got from that chat. If not, we'll definitely see more conversations with the previous users. Because this is very similar to what Aang did in Avatar The Last Airbender before he had to go fight Lord Ozai. So Horikoshi really has me on the ropes, and I don't really know what to expect, but I'm hype as fuck to see it play out. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe for more anime related content. If you have any suggestions for any low-key anime or manga that you would like for me to check out, leave that in the comment section below. If I end up liking it enough, I may make a video on it like I did for Shadow House, as well as comment any theories of your own that you might have on what's going to happen. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great day. Deuces.